When I was little, I would go to my grandparents' house on a regular basis. We would eat breakfast together, and one time Grandma was eating cornflakes, and she accidentally put salt on them instead of sugar because she was so distracted when she was talking on the phone. The look on her face was priceless. My grandmother was one of the most wonderful women I've known, and I'm going to be telling you a little bit about her life today. Jenny Lou Dorman was born on January 24th, 1929 in Perry, Iowa. She had two sisters and one brother. She graduated high school in 1947 and then moved to Elgin, Oregon with her cousins a couple years later. She married a man named Mr. Johnson and then divorced him a few years after that. She then moved to Portland and met my grandpa while she was working at a secondhand store in the late 1950s. My grandpa, Robert Louis Poor, asked my grandmother if she wanted to be poor all her life, and she gladly accepted. They got married on September 16, 1961, and then on August 18, 1967, they had my mom. They moved to Enterprise, and then they moved to Troutdale, and then Estacada. In Estacada, they built a house, and that's where I spent most of my childhood. We would eat breakfast together, and every other Wednesday we would go to the Beaverton Bakery because that's what we did. On days that we didn't go anywhere, we would play pick-up sticks, tiddlywinks, or Old Maid because those were my grandma's and my favorite games to play. Sometimes Grandma and I would make cookies and frost them, or we would go outside and look at the flowers in her garden. Grandma helped me learn how to play the piano, and even though I protested, she made me do music theory. And now that I have learned the piano, I'm very grateful that she did make me do my music theory. She went to most of my band concerts, my piano recitals, and my dance recitals, and also my plays because she was supportive. She was a very active member of the church, and every Sunday she would be the first one to pick a hymn during the hymn sing. She always remembered Children's Day every year in June because she thought that the children needed to have a day to be recognized. So she'd give them pencils and make cookies every year. She loved keeping in touch with her friends and family, and she always loved to hear from them. My grandmother passed away last September, and I miss her very much. Even though she would embarrass me from time to time, I still loved her very, very much. She was a very strong and caring woman, and I will always remember her in my heart and in my thoughts.